She hired the cheapest guard available. He was human, unknown, completely unremarkable. No one suspected the truth.
My name is Captain Lyris Velkereth. I was commanding a deep space research vessel exploring the Outer Rim. My budget was limited. The Galactic Council didn't believe in funding remote expeditions like mine. When I needed a personal guard, I couldn't afford the elite warriors everyone recommended. So I hired the cheapest option available. A human named Marcus. He arrived with minimal credentials. No impressive military record. No battle honors. Just a simple application saying he was available for protective services. He accepted payment that would have insulted most alien warriors. I thought I was getting exactly what I paid for. A warm body in a guard uniform. I was completely wrong. The first 3 months, Marcus did nothing remarkable. He stood quietly during my command duties, maintained appropriate distance, never interfered, never spoke unless absolutely necessary. He was so unremarkable that I often forgot he was there. But I noticed small things. The way his eyes tracked movement. How he'd positioned himself to have optimal view of all entrances. The subtle shifts in his stance that suggested enhanced tactical awareness. His hands, scarred, calloused, hands that had seen combat. Still, I assumed I was reading too much into simple competence. Then the first real threat arrived. Pirates attacked our research vessel. Armed attackers boarded through the cargo bay. I was in the command center when alarms began shrieking. My elite security team rushed toward the threat. Marcus didn't rush. He simply walked. Only. Methodically. Like he was walking to a routine inspection, not toward armed combatants. I watched on security cameras as he encountered the first pirate. The encounter lasted 3 seconds. The pirate was unconscious before he realized Marcus was there. I watched as Marcus neutralized 6 attackers in 90 seconds. Not with weapons. Not with technology. Just with precision movement and understanding of human and alien physiology. Each strike was perfectly calculated. No wasted motion. No aggression beyond what was necessary. He was an artist of combat. When the security team arrived, the battle was already over. Marcus stood among the unconscious pirates, breathing normally, not even sweating. "Status," I said over the comm. "All threats neutralized, Captain," he said simply. "No casualties on your crew." That's when I started investigating. His background check was intentionally vague. Military experience. Various deployments. Education. Self-taught. References. Not available. He'd hidden his identity deliberately, I realized. Carefully. Professionally. I had my chief intelligence officer dig deeper. What she found made me question everything. "Captain," she reported nervously, "I believe your guard is Vex'Thorne." I went silent. Vex'Thorne was legendary. 30 years ago, he'd been the most feared warrior in known space. He'd worked for the Galactic Council as an independent contractor. Completed impossible missions. Survived situations that should have been fatal. Then he'd vanished. Disappeared from public record 30 years ago. And now he was my hired guard. The cheapest option available. "Are you certain?" I asked. 95%, she said. "The facial recognition algorithm matches historical records. Vex'Thorne aged 30 years, but it's him." I confronted Marcus in my private quarters. "Your name isn't Marcus, is it?" Asked directly. He was silent for a long moment. "It is," he said finally. "Marcus Vex'Thorne. Marcus is my first name. Most people knew me by my last name." "Why?" I demanded. "Why hide from the galaxy? Why work for minimum wage as a guard?" He looked at me with eyes that had seen too much. "Because 30 years ago, I realized the galaxy doesn't need legendary warriors anymore," he said quietly. "It needs stability. The legendary warrior life creates conflict. So I chose to disappear." He paused. "Then I needed to survive. I found that hiring myself out, quietly without fanfare, allowed me to do what I was trained to do without drawing attention. Most employers see a cheap human guard and never look deeper. But you're the most dangerous person in known space, I said. I was, he corrected. Now I'm just someone who protects people who can't protect themselves. Over the following weeks, everything changed. Knowing who he was, I understood his actions differently. The way he'd positioned sensors wasn't random. It was the strategy of someone who'd fought across multiple star systems. His tactical decisions weren't instinct. They were the product of centuries of accumulated combat knowledge. But what surprised me most was his humility. He didn't want recognition. Didn't want his identity revealed. Didn't want anything except to continue doing his job quietly. Why stay with me? Asked one evening. You could go anywhere. Do anything. Because, he said, your mission matters. Exploring unknown space. Seeking knowledge. Building understanding between species. That's worth protecting. When the Galactic Council discovered Vex'Thorne was alive, they requested his services immediately. High-level assignments. Dangerous missions. The kind of work he'd done before. He refused. I'm staying with Captain Vex'Thorne, he told them simply. Her research matters more than your politics. It was an unprecedented rejection of the Council's authority. But they couldn't force him. They couldn't even press the issue when they discovered who his employer was. A respected researcher with protection from a legendary warrior created too much political capital to antagonize. 6 months later, my research team made a breakthrough discovery. We found evidence of an ancient alien civilization. Technology suggesting peaceful interspecies cooperation millions of years ago. Proof that the galaxy had once worked together. And Marcus was there when we made the discovery. This is what I wanted to protect, he said, looking at the data. Proof that coexistence is possible. That the galaxy doesn't have to be defined by conflict. He looked at me. Thank you for that mission, Captain. It reminded me why I chose to fight in the first place.